Whilst fascism's most enduring legacy might be German, it was actually born in Italy, after Mussolini seized power in 1922. He harked back to the grandeur of Rome. He also collaborated with Hitler and crushed opposition. The Italian fascists were known for their brutality towards ethnic groups. Although they expelled the Nazis at the end of the war, their legacy was one of murder and executions no less effective than their German counterparts.
They were Nazis. They accepted to go all the way with the Nazis. And they did terrible things in the north.
Italian school children learn little about the roots of fascism, and many feel history is being rewritten.
In the rest of Europe, 70–75% of the Jews were destroyed and the rest survived. Here, 25–30% were destroyed and the rest survived. But that doesn't make the story any better.
For 50 years, the fascists were shunned from politics, but they have since made a comeback. In 1994, a neo-fascist party got 5 ministers into the coalition government of media tycoon Silvio Berlusconi. The new fascists, the National Alliance, discriminated against the poor, the needy and the foreign. The young fascists on the streets were jubilant. That government collapsed, but the National Alliance leader of Gianfranco Fini had succeeded in giving his party a new political credibility. He calls it post-fascism. And yet, his party is a direct descendant of Mussolini's party, and his politicians continue to show their true sympathies. One marked the year 2000 by producing a calendar of Mussolini's life story. Another was shown on Italian TV, commemorating the dead who fell in bringing Mussolini to power. Others are even more forthright. I'm a Mussolini man, if you want to know. I'm a Mussolini fascist, mark my words. Everything was positive except the war. We shouldn't have gone to war, but unfortunately we were forced to. And when state TV showed the strung-up corpse of Mussolini for the very first time, it invited the party to comment. Its praise for him caused a storm. Without doubt, he remains the greatest Italian political figure this century. In 100 years, it'll be hard to remember a name other than Mussolini. The National Alliance will run against Berlusconi in the next elections on an anti-immigration platform. Italy is already under pressure from other European nations to get tougher on illegal immigrants. Many of them try to make their way to France. If they're arrested, they'll be sent straight back to Italy. The Schengen Agreement of 1985 allowed the free movement of people within Europe, and most rich EU countries no longer have strict border controls. But the agreement was designed with Europeans in mind. France offers foreigners more benefits than Italy, so the French want the Italians to physically send them home. And that's the message of Western Europe's largest anti-immigrant party, the National Front. A village in Provence. The National Front has surged ahead in towns like Vitrolles, partly fueled by the harsh economics bound up with joining the euro. The Front won more than 15% of the vote in the French elections in 1998 by playing on fears of immigration and unemployment. The Front's election promise was to send Moroccans, Tunisians and Algerians home, even if they have French citizenship. Those people endanger civil peace and the cohesion of our French country, unbalance the employment situation, and so pose a large problem. We want to bring down the numbers below the threshold of tolerance, to bring harmony back to the country. Election night 1997. Vitrol is rocked by the rise of what some are calling neo-Nazis. If they call me a Nazi, they'll just make Nazism more attractive, because I got 52% of the vote in my town. Voters, like taxi driver Lucien Roche. It's not a racist party. For me, it's just a normal party. I think it's a normal party. It's a party that's straight and honest. And that's its appeal. Even Roche's black wife voted for them. Some polls say 35% of the French agree with their stance on immigration. Above all, I'm French. I love the French, which doesn't mean I don't like foreigners. I was first married to a Spanish woman who became a French citizen. And now I live with a colored woman from Reunion, so I'm not a racist. But I don't like immigrants coming in to ruin the country. This anti-racism campaigner had to be smuggled into the Jean Monnet High School because of the headmaster's political sensitivity. When so many parents here have voted National Front, it's sometimes hard to see the politics of hate for what they really are.
It's a fascist party. You know, they say that think that blacks are inferior than white people. They say that when we are black, when we are Arab, you are a criminal. And when you read really the program, you see that it's really the beginning of a fascist party.
Unemployment in immigrant suburbs can exceed 30%. The youth here commit a disproportionate share of French crime, but they live under curfew and claim police harassment since the National Front came to power. If the police find you out after 10 p.m., they beat you up. If the police find someone out after curfew, there's no mercy. They hit you, handcuff you. They say that every young immigrant is a potential delinquent. They want to cut our lifelines, housing benefit, to make us go elsewhere. At 6 a.m. one morning, 14-year-old Najib was dragged from his bed, accused of setting a car on fire. He suffered a severe neck injury in police custody. They punched me, kicked me until I was ready to tell them anything they wanted to hear. Immigrants here say racism has the sanction of politicians, and that alienation has increased thanks to National Front policies. Since coming to power, it has expelled Algerians from council flats, cut funding to cultural organizations, banned left-wing books, and sacked social workers of foreign birth. It's true, we're abolishing those jobs and recruiting more police. But what are they really? They're gang leaders with a council salary. They've been paid to keep their mates calm, so everything will be okay. That's a mafia technique. It's a complete denial of the law and state, and that's why we're abolishing those jobs.